So today I'm going to be talking about Gallant by V.E. Schwab. So I'm not one of the people who read the self-help and non-fiction books. So I'm more of a fantasy person. So this is one of the books that I completed recently. It's Gallant. So this is a book about a girl, a 16-year-old girl, and so we start off this book with our main character in an orphanage when she suddenly gets this call that she has a family out there. They've been looking for her and she needs to go to them. But like I said, this is a fantasy, right? So there are so many elements that are tying this book together into like the most vivid picture that you've ever seen. So I'll start talking about like how atmospheric it is first. So this book, it's set in, you actually don't know what era or what age or what time period this book is set in, because it could be set at any point in time. You just don't have the technology, like the advanced technology that we are using every day, but then you have all the other basic things. You've got cars, you've got like tools and everything, you've got regular normal clothing. But the whole like uh, point of this book is how atmospheric it is. It's like more of a gothic book, and it starts off right at the cover. Like if you can see this, uh, so Gallant is the estate that she has been called to. It's a family estate, and there is something that is hiding behind like this one crumbled garden wall that she is just not allowed to cross. And there's a lot going on in this book, but the one thing that I feel ties it all together is that search for home, for like a family, to people who care about you and people you can care about in turn. Because as nice as it is to have people who look after you, it's just as rewarding to have somebody you can care for and see what they are up to in their day. And the like, other than that, one of the things that I really enjoyed in this book is like the writing. So this writer, V. Schwab, she's one of my favorite writers, and the way that she has with words, like plot wise, there's not a lot in this book. It's a very basic book. It's only 300 pages, so there's not a lot going on. But the way that she personifies things that are not meant to be personified is, it starts with rain drums its fingers on the garden shed, and then there are callbacks. So like about in the 22nd chapter, again it starts with rain drums its fingers on the garden shed, which I feel like is such a good callback to that. And then another thing that I really like about this book, so there are three main things that I enjoyed: the atmosphere, um, the second thing that I really like is that Olivia, the main character, she's got a diary with her, which is her mom's diary, which as you read it, you feel like it's written by a person who is losing their mind slowly and slowly, like pieces of them falling away. But then as the story progresses, like there's this little part here in the middle, if you can see the darkened pages, where you have the entire diary, and just before that the plot twist comes in, and like as you reread those pages, it starts to make sense. Like the same words that you read and you were like, okay, this is just the ramblings of a person who is not all there, and everything just falls into place. I really like how the setup of a story where you just knock one domino and everything, the entire picture is just clear in front of you. And the third thing that I enjoyed was doomed characters. Sometimes you see a character and you just know that their character arc is not going to be a happy one. Like you look at Olivia and you still have hope that okay, maybe she's going to find a family, maybe she's going to find something somewhere to belong. But then there's this other character in this book, and I one look at him and I knew that this is not going to be a happy story for this guy. And still the author manages to make you sob when it happens. So I mean, it's just a very enjoyable book. For learning perspective, I really like reading V. Schwab's books, because as a writer myself, like aspiring writer, whatever, I enjoy reading stories where the writer just hooks you in and gets you invested. Because and like I said, there's not a lot of plot in this, but I still enjoyed this book. Like I stayed up until 2 a.m. on a work night just to finish this book. Yeah. So like for me, I am a really big fan of V. Schwab. So for that, I'm grateful to have read this. So yeah, if any of you are fantasy readers, so I'd recommend this book.
That's really